Blind Prime here with a G.I. Joe Classified Series Haslab Rattler update. Yes, it's been confirmed it is the Cobra Rattler. I know, I'm just as surprised as some of you. Everyone said it was happening, and I was in the group of people that was thinking that this was a fast one Hasbro was pulling on us and we were going to get something completely different as a shocker surprise kind of thing. So, let's talk the Rattler. Okay, this thing's going to be 32 inches long from nose tip to tail tip. It's going to be 33 inches long from wingtip to wingtip, and it's going to be 10 inches long from the tip of the landing gear to I don't know if they're doing the tip of the top of the fuselage, or if they're doing the tip of the rear center wing, dorsal wing. Either way, yeah, that's 10 inches. That's pretty good. You remove the landing gear and you've dropped it by like 2 or 3 inches. So I'd say, yeah, it's pretty decent. It's a decent vehicle, at least when it comes to what it sounds like. So further things that it has is it has a cockpit in the front for the wild Weasle, the pilot, who is apparently very well sculpted from what people have been saying. He's going to have some scarring on his face, kind of like scrap iron, and he's also going to come with two separate helmets. I wonder if he's going to come with two separate head sculpts to go with those helmets, but they're going to be removable helmets. And this guy, I love me some removable helmets. I absolutely do. I think that's just part of the fun of these action figures. So having a removable helmet for him definitely gives him an up in my book. Is it and hearing that he can have a battle damaged helmet or a regular helmet is just further awesomeness in my opinion. I love that idea. I hope we get a battle damaged cockpit so that you can explain where the battle damage on his helmet came from. And I do have to say that I am a little upset by some of the tiers, but we're going to get into that. Let's talk more about the actual product itself. So, from what I understand, it's going to come with some pieces that fall off, or it can be replaced with battle damage pieces. That's similar to the Razor Crest with the Mandalorian that we got for the Star Wars Vintage Collection Haslab. That had some battle damage pieces that could be installed. You could also take that thing apart to its skeleton, apparently, which is a shame that we can't do that with the Rattler, though we can remove some pieces of the Rattler. So be aware of that. You can remove some pieces so you can get at the engine, and you can have scrap iron working on it with one of the wrenches that comes with the Techno Viper. The Techno Viper, yeah. Had to remember his name there for a second. Anyway, so that's really cool in my opinion. The wings can fold for easier storage. Like if you just want to put it on a shelf as if it's like in maintenance bay getting repaired or something, you can fold the wings for that. You can also rotate the wings so that it's in its VTOL formation, where vertical takeoff or landing, it can just fly straight up to take off. I think that part is really neat. I think it's very interesting that they managed to that was even a thing that there was. Me, I'm not a person that collected GI Joe ever in my life. It wasn't really in my family's budget. What, they got me Power Rangers and they got me Lego, and that's all they could afford to get me. And I love my Power Rangers and I love my Lego, but it would have been nice to get more Joes because some of these vehicles were really, really cool. So it's neat to get them now. And finding out that they actually changed it a bit to fold the wings up, though uh, I do think it's also really cool that you can fold the wings up and rotate them. So I wonder if you can do it together. If you can rotate and then fold the wings so that it's more streamlined to fit on your shelf, in case your shelf is too short. Like if you have a shorter shelf that's only, say, 12 inches tall, then you can fold the wings and then rotate them in VTOL formation, and suddenly you've dropped the size of your figure. Because I assume with the wings folded, it's going to be around 14 inches tall, just because of how wings act when they fold. They make a little teepee. I'm not exactly sure, but that would be a neat thing to discover and find out. The gunner position, I don't know if it has a cockpit or not, like if it has a closing cockpit, but I do know there's a gunner pod on the top in towards the center of the vehicle. I assume right behind the front wings, but definitely not too close to the tail section. There's 3 engines on this because that's the biggest difference between this vehicle and the A10 Warthog. The A10 Warthog has the engines on the back tail wings, so the tail wings on it are a bit bigger and the engines hang out on top of those. And this one puts the engines on top of the wings right next to the fuselage. So I'm interested in how that changes up the design. I'm really curious about that, and I like it even more because of that. Like, it's mixed it up a bit. The A-10 Warthog is one of my favorite air vehicles next to the F-22 Raptor, and I'm very excited to be able to mess around with a 1/12 scale A-10 Warthog. I'm down for that. That sounds really cool. And the extra gunner position on top of it for anti-aircraft is really neat, though the only aircraft the Joes have currently is the Dragonfly helicopter, and that's not made to go against something like that. So that's kind of telling me they're expecting to bring us more Joe aircraft in the future, and I'm wondering if we're going to move more towards aircraft than ground vehicles, which would be kind of a shame because I want to see more ground vehicles personally. Now, this thing also comes with a chain gun that you can spin. It's apparently got a little rotor thing that you can spin to make the chain gun move around in the nose. It's got the 2 engines, one on each wing. There's an engine in the tail area. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be on top of the dorsal fin or like right below the dorsal fin, but it's on the tail section. The landing gear can apparently pop out with the push of a button, but you have to physically put each individual one back in, and it's going to come with a lot of missiles. It's going to come with 2 ground air-to-ground missiles, 2 air-to-air missiles, 2 more air-to-air missiles, I think, maybe some fuel pods, and atomic weaponry. Like, what? There's atomic weaponry involved with this? That's neat. I was not expecting atomic weapons, and it also comes with some bombs other than atomic weapons. That really, really neat how many weapons it comes with, and blast effects for them that can actually fit like they explain with the Dragonfly. So I'm excited to get the Dragonfly just to figure out how these blast effects are supposed to work, and then we're going to get this thing, and it's going to come with all sorts of different size blast effects, which I assume we can also utilize in the Hisstank and other things like that. So that's really exciting, just the baseline alone. That sounds like a really cool action figure. Sounds like a really cool vehicle. Now let's get to the tiers. Now, here's where I'm a little sad, okay? I did like the fact that with the Hisstank, one of the tiers was to change out the cockpit layout and how the sides worked, so that if you wanted to have a classic look for your Hisstank, you could have a classic look for your Hisstank. If you wanted to have more of the modern day GI Joe classified look for it, you could have that. Personally, I put the GI Joe classified panel on the cockpit, and I put the OG Hisstank side armor on the sides of the treads because I just like the way that one turned out. I like that, and I would have liked the first tier unlock to be a battle damaged cockpit or a classic cockpit or a GI Joe classified series style cockpit. I would like to have seen something like that for the first tier, something that would have allowed us to add more customization to this Cobra Rattler than what is initially offered to us. Being able to switch out the cockpits would be really cool. These patches, I'm not okay with. We're getting 3 iron-on patches or sew-on patches or something. They just said this declare them as patches. And I'm like, really? That sucks. I was hoping for a figure. I was hoping for extra bits to customize my Rattler, like with the Hisstank. Honestly, I would have taken that over a figure. The other thing that we got is the second tier unlock is the gunner for the gunner pod, which is expected. We were like, okay, you give us a gunner pod, you better be giving us a gunner. So yes, there's going to be a gunner. Not much talk about the accessories the gunner comes with, but I'm sure the gunner will also come with a removable helmet. At least I hope the gunner comes with a removable helmet. I love me some removable helmets. Now, then we get over to the last tier, and that's a Baroness in a flight outfit, and it. Okay, that one's a bit sad. I was hoping for a really unique Halo jumping thing like what we got with Dragonfly, but, the Cobra version of that. That would have been really cool to have the gunner also be a Halo jumper or something like that. That would have been kind of neat. But instead, what we get is a Baroness, and apparently we've already gotten a bunch of Baronesses. A Retro Baroness, a Crimson Baroness, the Cobra Coil Baroness. Now we're getting another Baroness. Oh, and don't forget Snake Eyes Baroness. Everyone likes to forget about that. So this would be Baroness number 5 that we've gotten. That's a lot of Baronesses, and it would have been like if they had included Roadblock in the GI Joe Dragonfly. I think that's kind of the equivalent there. It's just really, but you already have so many Baronesses. You could have given us something else that was really neat. You could have done something really interesting there, and instead, it's a very lackluster tier unlock system going on this time. The price is $325, and I think with all the tiers unlocked, you're getting a good value. The the vehicle itself being as large as it is with the lights and the stand. I forgot about the stand. It comes with a stand that will allow it to sit 7 inches off the ground. I wish it was a little taller, but I understand with how big this thing is that's best you can get, apparently. And the stand will have a slide out drawer for storage of accessories. That's something that I've been wanting for a while, and I've been upset at Hasbro GI Joe team for not bringing us for a while all these new vehicles, but no place to store. So I'm happy that this stand has a storage drawer. That is a very exciting thing to me, and I can't wait to have more storage for my Joes. That is, and the stand can also maneuver so that you can have it just sitting down on the stand, or you can position it so that it's in straight flight, or it's facing downwards at 45, or it's facing upwards, or it's spinning sideways or that. Apparently, it's a very act dynamic stand. You can pose your plane in a lot of different ways with this stand, and that is really cool. I've enjoyed that with the. We talked about that with the Fortnite hang glider. That stand was very dynamic. It allowed you to move the hang glider in many different ways and fashions, and I'm hoping that this is the way the stand works for the Rattler. The added drawer to put in extra accessories is a big bonus in the GI Joe classified everything, because we just do not have enough storage. I've had to buy 4 Fortnite arcade machines in order to have enough storage for all of the extra guns, and I need more arcade machines. I'm actually working with an eBay seller, and we're gonna start doing a program soon where I talk about products that they're selling in order to get them more attention on their eBay page. In exchange, I get to keep the products, and we're going to work on the arcade machines first. So be prepared for that one. I am going to start doing that soon, and still in talks with the eBay seller, but it'd be nice to get a few items a little cheaper. In exchange, I get to kick them a few customers, and that is an exciting prospect that I have in my future with that. But overall rating for this, I think the stand. Oh, by the way, the stand's supposed to be 30 inches long, or 30 inches wide, and it's supposed to be like 10 inches long or wide, and only like an inch thick or something. I'm not exactly sure on the thickness of it, but I hope it's a thicker thing so that the drawer's nice and deep. But it is neat that the stand is so large, and then when you consider with that wingspan, it's got to be able to hold everything. So after I've explained everything to you about this, go check it out for yourself to get more clearance on that. But I warn you, the Hasbro Pulse website has lost a lot of its accessibility for the blind. It was very difficult for me to understand anything going on there, and I actually had to get a roommate to look it over for me last night and go over it. So that's why I'm a little unclear on the details today in today's video, because I am not able to just pull it up myself and read, have everything read to me in a nice list. That was how Hasbro Pulse's Haslab website used to work. Don't know why they changed it. I'm a little upset that they did. I don't like that. But I do like the price of $325. Okay? It's a big plane. And it sounds like it's going to have a nice stand in the blast effects with the missiles, the chain gun, the blast effect for the chain gun, the pilot, the just how this thing works, the removable effects on it. I wish they had given us a little more, but at the same time, I'm happy with 325. I think 325 is asking for for a decent amount of money for what you're getting there. And honestly, you can see with the tier unlocks that they did put a lot into this project, and they tried to cut the price down as much as possible. These days, they've been adding the price of the tiers into the price of the product overall. So that's why we're not getting another figure, in my opinion, is because they didn't want to give it to us for 350 ever since the Engine of Greed. The 350 price point has been a bit cursed. That was nasty, and they didn't want to replicate that. But I believe personally, this is a pretty decent offering that they have for us this time. It's really nice sounding, and I hope the textures are as good as they're saying they're going to be. I do hate that I wasn't able to find a nice video where the designers are going over it in depth for like 30 minutes. That would have been wonderful. I love it whenever the designers talk about it because they bring up things that aren't necessarily written down on the website. They point at parts that they really worked hard on to make it really nice, and I do appreciate that. I was able to find out that they did get some nice equipment in the cockpit for the pilot, and they got some nice equipment in the cockpit for the gunner pit. And also, the gunnery area, unlike with the Hisstank, is going to be illuminated, and I think that's really neat. Though I won't really see it myself, I do appreciate it. I think that's cool. So I'm in for this project. I will be backing it, and let me know in the comments below. Will you be backing this project? It's the date will be September 8th for the final decision on whether or not you want to back it, and I think that's wonderful. I like that we get another gap that spans multiple months. It allows me to save up better. I've already been saving up for this, waiting for it to happen. That and Tidal Wave from Transformers, Generations Legacy United. Those are going to be the two big ticket items, as well as the Cobra Stinger. And after that, my big ticket items are just going to be Commander Class Optimus Prime later this year. So let me know in the comments below. Are you going to be backing this Haslab? And please, if I miss something, describe it in the comments so others can find it and read it. It can really help out a lot because that website is absolutely terrible right now. Until next Pride, bye-bye for now.